What's up, y'all? It's Tony from Tony Renee 1. Thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel. Today we got something super great for you all today. The truth about college debt, right after this. What's up, y'all? I'm Tony from Tony Renee 1, and this is my beautiful wife right here, Renee.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Today we're going to talk about the truth of college debt, okay? College debt is real. It is oh so real. Don't ever think that it's not real, okay? And if you try not to pay your loan providers, you can hide, but they will find you.
Yes, they will.
So we want to share our life experience around what college debt is like, what it is, and what you can do to kind of subdue or reduce any chances of having college debt, period.
Absolutely. I still remember when I went to college, I just needed to do a FAFSA, and I knew that at the last minute. FAFSA, I didn't even know how to say the damn thing. But I took it, did it, you know, was able to scramble up something last minute, and then I realized I gotta pay for this. Like, I gotta pay for college. It's one thing to be like, oh, I wanna go to college, but I need some money to pay for college. So when I started talking to advisors, which was really, again, last minute, because I needed to figure out what to do, the first thing that was mentioned was loans.
Yeah.
And really, that was the only thing that was mentioned. I didn't know anything about a grant. I had no idea what a stipend was. Had never heard of it.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about scholarships or how you could get them. And if I did find out about them, it was past the deadline already. So I couldn't qualify for them. So that's my experience. And so I ended up, just after my first degree and my second degree, having over $100,000 in student loan debts. Yes, and I'm still trying to pay that back.
Yes. And when you get married, guess what? You marry the other person's debt.
Yes,
so just think about that.
Yeah, tune in for that video later, but yes.
So that's the truth. So my experience around college debt is kind of similar to Renee's, you know. I come from a different we come from similar economic backgrounds, and so going to college was something that could put us in a different economic bracket, make more money, have different opportunities and things like that. But when you come from maybe a lower income bracket, you know, you may not necessarily have certain opportunities or financial benefits to be able to pay for college. So like myself, I only thought of loans, okay, student loans. I didn't think of scholarships and, like she was saying, grants and different things like that. I didn't think to necessarily ask people in the community to see if they would sponsor me to go to college. I mean, that's a huge milestone, right?
Yeah.
And that's something good that people want to hear about, you know? People want to support something that's positive. So that is my experience. And what I can tell you now, life after graduation, once you take those loans out, where do you think you're going to spend a lot of your money, your hard-earned money, paying it back, right? So I'm not trying to self-disclose to anybody or telling anybody, you know, how much I have to pay, but I pay like $1,000 a month in student loan debt. And I know some people, it may just be a little bit, but that's a lot if you're thinking about paying somebody back over a 15-30 year time. So, and that's kind of why we created this video, you know, because we're going through that right now, and we want to be able to give you some information that kind of help you reduce or eliminate the opportunity for you to start building debt. And one thing I was told when I was going to college is that college is such of a good investment. You know, it's like good debt. Have you ever heard of that?
What is good debt?
Right, what is good debt? I don't understand that. What is good debt? There's no such thing as good debt.
Good debt is no debt.
Perfect, right? No debt. No debt is good debt.
I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, at least, you know, if you're gonna be in debt for something, you'll be in debt for your education.
Yeah.
You know, and that sounded real good. You know, I mean, I was 18. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm first to go to college and get a degree, represent for the family, and then life got real. Life got real, and it just felt like regular old debt to me.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Anyway, so if we had like any tips we could give, one thing I can think of for sure is something I didn't do, which is when you are working, like if you're in school and you're working, work somewhere that does tuition reimbursement.
Yes.
Why didn't I think of that? Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Why didn't I do that? But that's okay. See, I get to share it with you because I know now in hindsight, looking back, maybe I should have done that. I worked at a burger joint. There ain't nothing wrong with that. but they wouldn't reimburse no tuition. So, you know, try to work somewhere that does tuition reimbursement.
Yeah.
If you can work at a company, you can really just contact them through their HR department. The HR department pretty much lets you know if they even offer that at that specific company.
Yes, that's a great note. That's a great note. And then something that I kind of want to like piggyback off of what she was saying a little bit. And if you decide to work for a company based on the fact that they have a tuition reimbursement, make sure that the company, if you can, lines up with your professional goals. Try to make sure that the company is a company that you want to invest in, something that you're going to school for, and you can actually use your education in that company itself. So try to graduate with a job and not graduate then try to get a job. Don't do that, okay? Try not to do that if you can. So, and that's kind of why we created this channel, because we got your back, right? We've been through this, so we got your back. So if you got any questions about that, just hit us up. We got a few more things too.
Yeah, and also too, Tony, make sure you let them know. Another option that you can do to save some money is any jobs that you can get on campus.
Yes.
So, your boy right here has got a good experience that he had on campus that saved him some money. Let him know.
So on campus, I was basically the RA, resident assistant. But I was a cool RA, right? You know,
it was cool.
You know, when people came to school and different things like that for the first time, I was the person that they met. You know, I was kind of like the face of the resident hall, you know. So I was kind of the type of person, I'm really, really personable, but also I'm private, okay? So I don't like to get in your business as long as you following the rules and things like that, not smoking, not drinking. But let me get on topic. So I became an RA. I was an RA for probably about 3 years. The great thing about being a resident assistant is I got my own room, right?
Yeah.
Dorm fees and housing fees are extremely high.
They
okay,
are.
You could be spending $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000 per semester. You could spend $10,000 just to be housed, right? So you want to think about that. So I became a resident assistant, and at the school I was going to, I was fortunately, I didn't have to pay anything. I got a free room basically, and it was private. That was like having my own apartment, right? So I was super, super hyped and geeked off that. So.
Yeah, so consider that, you know, if you go to college, consider being an RA.
Yes.
Shout out to the RAs.
Yes, I'm talking
about. So the second thing that I can think of is something that, don't do this. I did this. Don't go to school undeclared. What does that mean? That means I'm going to school with no plan. That means I don't know what I'm studying. I'm just here, and I'm just glad I got in.
Right.
Don't do that, because when you go to school undeclared, you don't have a major, and when you don't have a major, you don't have any direction as to what program you're going to go into.
Yes.
And when you don't have any direction into what program you're going to go into, you don't have a timeline of how long it's going to take. What does that mean, Renee? That means you wasted money.
Yes.
That means you got a lot of money that you dishing out, and you don't even know what you planning to graduate with.
What?
So no shade to anybody who's done it, because look at me, I did it. But I wasted a lot of money because I didn't know what I was doing for some years until I finally realized through taking some general education courses, oh, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So, you know, try not to go in undeclared. If you are in high school, start thinking about and trying to connect to people in certain industries that you're interested in, volunteering, things like that, just to see if that's like what you want to do, just so you can have at least an idea, go in with something versus going in undeclared. What you think?
She is totally right about that. But my experience was a little different, okay? I went to college basically not knowing what I wanted to do. So I majored, you know, I had a major when I went to college, but I did something a little different that a lot of people don't talk about. It's kind of like major hopping, where you constantly changing your major every semester. That was me. Oh, 1 year I want to be a teacher.
I did that.
The next year I want to be a fireman. The next year I don't know, I want to be an engineer, you know? So I didn't have a plan, so I was constantly trying to figure out what was my passion. And what did I do? Wasted time, which equals wasted dollars. You don't want to do that, okay? You want to kind of pick a major that lines up with your values. And I know this is a lot, you know, talking to a person who's just graduated high school or whatnot, you know, but you have to kind of think about some of the things that you really like and be real and honest with yourself, you know, and look at some of the things that you may not necessarily be looking at. Don't look at, you know, just singing and dancing and athletic abilities. Look and ask yourself, am I a good writer? Am I good with numbers? Am I good connecting people? You know, talking to people.
Do I like doing it?
Yeah. Do you like doing it?
Do you like it?
Yes. Make sure you like what you do. That's key to that, because you can make a lot of money and you will hate your life. Okay. So it's not just about the money. It's also about liking what you do and who you do it for. Okay. So don't go in and frequently change your majors. Kind of have a good idea of what you want to study and the career path that you can take to get that. So yeah,
I agree 100%. I also am guilty of major hopping. I like that.
Major hopping.
Hopping. I had.
They got a thing. Hashtag major hopping.
Yeah, hashtag major hopping. If you've done it, put your experience down in the comment box. I want to hear about it. But I think I had 6.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who has 6 majors?
I'm maxed out too.
And you know what's interesting is that after graduating with 2 degrees, one of the things I'm most passionate about was one of the first things I majored in.
Yes.
Like,
what was it?
11 years ago. Speaking. And that's what I do. It's not what I got my degree in, but it's something I'm skilled in and I enjoy doing, and I do it on the side. So it's interesting that I went through 6 different majors and ended up getting 2 degrees in the last one. But it was interesting that the first one I picked actually ended up being something that I'm still pursuing. Yeah. So really just be mindful of what it is that you're doing when you go in as a freshman in college. Okay, so then also, if you do have to accept loans, because we did mention those earlier, really make that a last resort.
Yes.
I'm just gonna stress that, because I do know that sometimes, even if you were to apply to scholarships, that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get it. Or even if you apply for a grant, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be given that grant.
Yes.
So we're not saying that, you know, loans are not an option. We're just saying we highly encourage you to make it the last option.
Yes.
So for example, I got a scholarship that I didn't even know there was a scholarship. I got a scholarship called something around diversity because of where I came from and some family dynamics I was a part of. Look into things like that. So when I got that scholarship, I mean, that saved me like $4 grand right there. You know, so $4,000 off the semester, never had to pay it back. I'm out of college, they not looking for me, I'm not looking for them, I don't gotta pay nothing back. And it's all good, it's nice. So really look at loans as a last option.
Yes, look at loans as a last option. And then also too, and I cannot emphasize this more, read the fine print.
Yeah.
Read the fine print, okay? If you're gonna take out a loan, understand the interest rates, okay? Understand not only what you gotta pay back, but what you gotta pay back on top of what you gotta pay back, right? So read the fine print and also know when you have to pay your loans back, okay? Don't wait till you graduate and then all of a sudden 6-8 months goes by and then you get a bill in the mail and it's $1,100, okay? You wanna know exactly how much you're gonna have to pay back anytime you're gonna take out a loan and when you're gonna need to pay it back, okay? And then one good tip that I use is that I sign up for email reminders. So any loans that I've taken out with different loan providers, I'll go online and then sign up for a email reminder anytime I have to pay a bill. So that way I don't forget to pay my bill on a certain date. Okay, you don't want to you don't want to have missed payments with your loan providers. That's a bad thing. Okay, it's a bad thing. Remember that, bad thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. You can't stress that enough. Do not. And if you feel like you can't make the payment, stay in contact with the people who provided you the loan.
Yes.
Don't run from them. They will find you. And if you do, they'll find you. So make sure that you are doing that. And then also, when Tony was talking about the loan and being mindful of interest rates and things like that, be mindful of how long it's going to take you to pay it back.
Yes.
So people are like, oh yeah, you know, I got this loan, it's probably going to take me like 10 years. Okay, depending on how you look at it at the grand scheme of things, 10 years might not really seem like that long, as long as you're consistent paying them every month for 10 years.
Yes.
But you know what's interesting is I saw some research that showed an average person with a bachelor's is actually taking them 21 years to pay back their loan.
What?
Right, that's too long. That's way too long. So really be mindful of how long is it going to take me to pay back this loan.
Right.
And then also remembering not to miss any payments. And if you do, make sure you stay in contact with your loan provider and set up a payment plan or something like that.
Yes. And do you realize 21 years, you can raise a child in 21 years,
Absolutely.
right?
Into an adult.
And into an adult, right? They be going to college on their own then, by then, or getting a job or something like that, right? So you want to look at that in those terms, right? And then also something I think Renee, I want Renee to talk a little bit about. She's in the service industry. Tell them again what you do for a living.
I am a therapist, and I have a degree in psychology and a degree in social work. So I'm in a social work discipline. I'm in a public service industry. So what does that mean? That means that we're afforded different opportunities that maybe some in other industries are not. For example, we can be in a program around loan forgiveness because we work in public service. So if we pay our loans back consistently each month over X amount of years, then whatever is not been paid, that remainder can be forgiven.
Yeah.
But you have to be consistent with those payments. You have to be in contact with your loan providers. What opportunities do you have depending on your industry? Find out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know that when I graduated. I was working in the field for some years before I heard somebody mention loan forgiveness, and I thought, what is that?
Yeah.
So I Googled it, and I found a whole lot of stuff that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
So then at that point, I started taking steps to ensure that I was taking care of me and getting those things handled. So depending on your industry, do some research and see what options you can have to pay your stuff back.
Yeah, and another thing that I just want to say about college debt and loans, do not run. I want to emphasize that again. Do not run, do not hide from your loan providers. They can garnish your tax wages, they can garnish your actual wage, your income checks, the things that you're working for. They can take those. They can call your mama, your daddy, your granddaddy, they can call distant family members, So you don't want bill collectors constantly hounding you to get their money back, okay?
They can also call your employer.
Yes, they can call your employer.
Embarrassing.
Yes,
You don't
they
go for
can.
that,
Yes.
right? We're just telling you the truth,
Yes.
because these are things that we didn't know about. These are things that we've heard peers our age talking about. So these are real things that people are experiencing. So we just want to drop some knowledge and just share some things that we didn't know when we were going through it.
And then also, you also really want to think about this, especially if you're going in a financial industry, okay? If you're going into banking, if you're going into some type of accounting or something like that, you want to make sure that you have a strong financial history. Nobody really wants to take financial information from somebody who has bad budgeting skills themselves, or they're in debt themselves. Okay, so you really want to think about that, especially if you're going into a financial background or a financial industry.
Wow, that's an excellent point. I used to work in banking, and here's something I didn't know they did. They will run your credit report as an employee. No, really, in the interview process, and they will look and see if you are financially responsible and fit. And thankfully I was, so I was able to get the job, and it was a great position that I was able to work for some years. But that's just something to be thinking about. If you are going into an institution or industry like that, that's some things that they might be a part of their hiring process. So we just want to thank y'all so much for tuning into this and hanging out with us today, because this again is something that we we didn't have. So we just want to make sure we shared it with y'all. Tony, is anything else you want to share?
Yes, I do. And if you in school or right now and you watching this, don't stop asking questions. In school, I would maybe present a question maybe to my what do they call them? Advisors, my academic advisors. And a lot of times when they didn't know the answer, they would just feed me information. They would just feed me information, whether it be true or not. Don't stop asking questions, okay? And if the information doesn't sound right to you, continue to dig deeper till you can find the answer that you're most comfortable and confident in. Remember that this is your future, okay? This is your future that you're gonna have to pave the way for yourself. And you're responsible for your own success, okay? There's no excuses for any type of setbacks or failures, anything like that. You have to carry yourself to your own route of success. So continue to find answers. That's the last thing that I have for everybody.
Wow, absolutely. I don't think we could go out no better way than that. Your success belongs to you.
Yes.
So it's so important that you do everything he just said, because that is so important. So, if you like this video, which we know you did, make sure that you like it, make sure that you share it, and most of all, so that you can get more, make sure you subscribe, y'all.
Yes. And remember, as always, be sure to think, create, and change your own situation if you don't like it. Peace.